PGA Tour, high or low. So are the following odds too high, means too long, or too low, which is too short, for the following PGA golfers on this week's Sanderson Farms Championship, good old Jackson, Mississippi. So talk to me about Sam Burns here, plus 1,400. Those too long or too short?
Oh, yeah. I mean, this field is just, we got like 3 or 4, like what you'd call like semi-elite players, and Sam Burns is definitely one of them. But this one is probably a little bit too short. I mean, Sam Burns is a really good young player. I like him. I mean, he made me some money at the Valspar when he picked up his first win last year. But this is also a player who we've seen him like just struggle to put events away too. I mean, he had other opportunities earlier in the year to pick up multiple wins and he didn't close. So when you see him as the favorite for a tournament, it's typically going to be a good fade spot. If he was around plus 2,000 in this field, yeah, I'd have some interest in Sam Burns because he's a very good Bermuda putter. He's kind of got the tools you want this week, but these odds just for a guy who, yeah, he'll make you a lot of birdies for DFS, but is he going to close? Typically, he hasn't done that often enough for me to like him at this price. So plus 1,400, even just in that little group around plus 1,600, there's players I'd rather take a shot on than Sam Burns this week.
Yeah, won his first PGA Tour event last season. I know we finished, I believe, T3 here in 2018. What about Sungjae M here, plus 1,600? Those odds too long or too short?
Just a very similar player to Sam Burns. I mean, a good Bermuda putter. He's got one win, hasn't really been able to follow it up with another, but his odds are a little bit bigger. And just for that reason, I'm going to say these odds are fair on Sungjae. I mean, I think that the fact that you're getting a little bit bigger odds on Sungjae over Sam Burns, you should take Sungjae M. Look back at how Sungjae finished his season last year. It was really, really strong. He gained strokes ball striking in 4 straight events. He was absolutely blasting it there at the BMW Championship, where he finished T3 against an elite field. Looked really good. Didn't have the greatest tour championship, but I mean, that is such a weird format, and those guys are already making bags of money just by making the top 30 that I don't really think you should read anything into that. He's finished runner-up at this event. So again, another good Bermuda putter, very similar game to Sam Burns. I think he's actually played a little bit better than Sam Burns if we go back to the playoffs of late. So again, I think these odds, if anything, I don't know if I want to say too high because it is kind of like a low price to pay for Sungjae M, but I'm much more interested in betting Sungjae M here at plus 1,600 than Sam Burns, just for the fact that I think he was playing better than Burns before. And I think this course sets up just as well, if not even better for him. So player I'm definitely interested in for DFS too, on the DraftKings, rostering and stuff like that. But for the outrights, yeah, absolutely. I think if you're paying up for a guy in the outright market today or this week at the Sanderson Farms, it should be Sungjae M.
He's the tour's single season record holder with 498 birdies.
That's because he plays every week.
I know. And you know what? He beats the system, too. He doesn't even have a house in the U.S., and he beats the system by playing every week, so the PGA Tour provides housing for him. It's amazing.
I think he finally bought a house, Emerson. I just don't think he's been there yet. So, maybe 2024 he'll visit it. But, look, Sungjae M's coming off like 2 weeks of rest, man. I mean, this guy should be fired up because he has not played golf in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Woo. He's probably so bored. He's like, what do I do with my hands? All right, Matthew Wolff, plus 4,000. What do we think about these odds?
Yeah, I am getting suckered into Matthew Wolff this week. I don't care. This is a ridiculously weak field, right? We've got 3 players in the top 50 of the official world golf rankings here. Look, I'm not going to rehash Matt Wolff's 2021 season. It was terrible. We all know it was objectively awful. But, let's just look at some parts of it, too. Dude was in the lead at the U.S. Open after 3 rounds. I mean, this guy was right there in a major championship. When his B-plus game shows up, this guy can compete against the best in the world. And if his B-plus game shows up against this field, he might win by 3 strokes. So, again, another player, he's coming off a long break. He was probably just sitting back at home watching the U.S. and the Ryder Cup and being like, oh, my God, I wish I was there with my buddies, just enjoying this absolute domination of Europe. I'm going to get there for the next one. And how do you get there? Well, you start winning golf tournaments, man. And this is a field Matt Wolff should be salivating over. We saw him in the fall last year, almost grab a win in the fall series at the Shriners. This event has really played well to people who are really good off the tee. If that dominant off the tee game shows up for Matt Wolff again, Cam Champ, Sergio, these guys gained 5 strokes off the tee. You might be able to just batter this field, man. There's 4 short par 5s. I think you got to take a shot here with them in the outright market at plus 4,000. I really do. It's just such a weak field, and you're just getting such an elite talent at this price. If he plays moderately good this week.
Yep.
You're going to get him at plus 2,000 for his next start. So I like taking a shot with him here.
Yeah, a little disappointing last year after that breakout 2019 rookie campaign. How about Gary Woodland? He's like just under Mr. Wolf. He's at plus 4,500. Too long or too short?
I mean, I could make the same argument here for Woodland that I could for Wolf, but like, I don't really know what's going on with Gary Woodland's game. I'm going to say these are too short. I just like, he looks lost out there. He puts together stretches of good tee to green game play, and then it just all unravels off the tee. Seems like he's really struggling with consistency with the driver. Wolf is struggling with the similar things. I just think Wolf is such a young player that it's going to be easier for him to bounce back. Woodland just seems to be in this funk, and again, I could be completely off, and the roles could be reversed here, and Woodland could be the guy who turns it around this week. But I like taking a shot with Wolf. I think he was getting a little bit close there at the end of the year, whereas Woodland, we just saw nothing from him. He wasn't making any cuts, didn't show up at a major like Wolf did. So for me, I'm out on Gary. I'd rather take shots with guys like Aaron Wise, Sebastian Munoz around here, guys who have played well of late and can rack up the birdies and don't have this confidence issue that Woodland clearly has right now. So,
yeah, nowhere close to his 2019 U.S. Open form when he won that event.
Nowhere near.
No,
definitely.
Now we're going to allow you to do something that I know you love to do anyway. You get to talk about whoever you like. So whose odds are too high and, should be lower, do you think?
Fantastic. I mean, okay. I really do like Aaron Wise this week around plus 5,000. I mean, again, this is the perfect segue. You look at what Aaron Wise has done over the last little bit. I mean, he had a really good playoffs, really solid. He ranks top 10 in this field in strokes gained tee to green over the last 50 rounds as well. Really strong player off the tee. But then you look at him in the odds. He's plus 5,000. It's the same odds as Taylor Pendrith, who was playing on the Korn Ferry Tour last year. He's bigger odds than Gary Woodland, who hasn't made a cut since he won the U.S. Open. Sebastian Munoz missed the cut by 9 strokes last time. He's plus 4,000. Aaron Wise is plus 5,000. It's a great deal you're getting on Aaron Wise. He's actually in form. He's strong off the tee. He was T17 at this event last year, and he lost like 2 strokes putting. I think this is a really good week to get in on Aaron Wise, a really good kind of underrated young player. He looks too big in the odds. And look, Emerson, it wouldn't be a golf segment without me throwing out just a wild long shot here. Anirban Lahiri at plus 20,000 this week. Yes, sir. Let's get that done. I like that. You can even get him at plus 1,600 for a top 10. He's going to be my long shot play here.
All right, let's go ahead and go straight to Slate Approved picks. So give us a winner.
I mean, I just
do it.
I'll say Sungjae M. I'll be like the conservative guy and go Sungjae M. I think Sungjae M was playing really well towards the end of last year. I think he comes in here, plays good. I want to go with my guy Aaron Wise. I'm going to go Sungjae M plus 1,600 on the odds. Again, if you're going to the top of the board, that's who I like.